Everyone, welcome back to Unarmored Talk podcast. I am your host, Mario P. Fields, and today's guest who's willing to remove her armor to have a real life discussion that hopefully helps the listeners and viewers develop an accurate way of thinking. Her name is Shelley Jeffcoat. What's going on, Shelley?
Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Let's do this.
I don't even feel like Shelley and we talk so much and all the time. This don't even.
This is a
This feels like
conversation.
this is a normal day. But before I get into giving Shelley some time to introduce herself to you all, again, you guys know I got to take care of that admin stuff. So number one, we just again we got the audio and video monetized on Unarmored Talk podcast. So anytime you guys download any episode, you share it with anybody. Anytime you touch anything on Unarmored Talk podcast, that's either on a YouTube channel or your favorite audio podcast platform, you're generating funds. Round of applause. I don't have that special button.
You need that button. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got maybe next year. Maybe the budget allowed me to get it next year. So thank you. So you guys are making a difference in helping us support Still Serving Incorporated. If you want to learn more about our amazing nonprofit, go to www.stillservinginc.com. And I'm done with the show notes, done with all that admin stuff. Let's get right to it. Everyone, we have CEO and founder of LCM Group LLC. She's also a podcast host and producer of Slice of Pie. That's P.I.E for Proud, Inspired, and Empowered. And she is a fellow colleague with me on Parade Deck, right? ParadeDeck.com. That's all. That's in all of my audio intro. She is on there. She's on the board of advisors and doing a lot more. Round of applause again. I don't have that special tool. So round of applause. Shelley. Jeffcoat, baby. Jeffcoat. Shelley, what's going on?
I'm so excited to be here and inviting everybody, all of your listeners and watchers, lovers and lurkers, to come and hear what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a good one. Well, they're all good. It's going to be a fun one, but it's going to be interesting. Just like all of the Unarmored Talk podcast episodes. Can you tell the listeners and viewers just a little bit about yourself, Shelley?
Yeah. So, as I kind of mentioned before, I'm a brand expert. I'm a CEO. I'm a philanthropist. I've been in this walk in the space that I'm in. You guys can find out more about me under Mrs. Pike, just about everywhere now. But I've been in the brand expert space for quite some time. I'm an award-winning culture builder, which means that there's an organization that I'm with. I think we've got 19 culture awards now. These aren't the type you buy. 19 culture awards for a large organization within the last 2.5 years, which is nearly impossible. So hugely proud of all of those endeavors. But author, mom, speaker, all of those things. And I'm just really excited to kind of share this space and be on your platform to, give some information that I think is going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, right. 19 awards, by the way, everyone. 19. Well, you guys know the deal. Let's just jump right into the topic. From my brief understanding,
yes,
recently you've gone into some type of networking event or live event, an in-person event, and a couple of stakeholders or potential partners or whatever, their profile picture didn't match, not even close.
Not even close.
Let's talk through the power of a profile picture and what happens when you don't even look like the picture you posted. What happened? Walk us through this one.
This is what happened, y'all. So I was at an event, and these individuals, and these are folks who've been in the industry, meaning the working life for quite some time. So these aren't, we're not talking about interns and recent grads, but these are individuals who've been in the working space for quite some time, and they have LinkedIn profiles like many of us do. And the profile picture that I met on LinkedIn wasn't exactly the person that I met in person. And so I had a person come up to me to, introduce himself. Hey, Shelley, I met you on LinkedIn, blah, blah. And honestly, I was so taken aback. And because I don't do a great job of faking my response ever, my response was like, who are you? Their profile didn't match the person. at all. And so one of the things that I thought about, we were talking about this earlier, is what are some of the impacts around that? From a
Right.
personal brand perspective, the areas that it really hits, first of all, it just really damages your credibility. It damages the trust, because now I'm like, well, if you're not even taking care of your basic profile information, then it actually erodes some level of trust and credibility. And can I really consider you someone who's a thought leader, which is the way the person was marketing themselves, if you're not even up to date or current? So I definitely want to dive into this about, the message that we're putting across, especially on social media. And it's not just your profile picture, it's some of the things that you're talking about, the way that you're presenting yourself. That is actually your brand. And I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, your brand is in that room long before you get there.
Yeah.
Right?
So so let's talk about, and I love how you highlighted your weakness. By the way, we teach that
Yeah.
in the employment workshop for interviews. The ability to highlight your weakness. And I love how you say, I am not strong at kind of masking, hiding my emotions.
That's right.
so so when you start to interact with
Yes.
this person or people,
Yes.
at what point did you start to connect? I use the metaphor, connect the dots, where you said, wait a minute, this is Mario.
I had to turn on my interviewing skills. Okay. So the same skill sets that I use on Mrs. Pie, that investigative journalism side, had to kick in, because, one of the things that you don't want to do is also, because of the nature of what we do, Mario, is have people feel like they weren't accepted when they met us, right? PR is huge for us. So
Right.
I go into my kind of my headspace, but the first thing I always do this is I try to put other people at ease. So I put the person at ease first, hey, it's great to meet you, and then trying to get the remind me who you are, but without saying remind me who you are.
Right. And how did
You
you do?
know,
Give me some tips. So how did you
Oh my
do that?
gosh, I do this. So, and by the way, I do this a lot. So for those of y'all who heard it, I'm sorry. But I usually say, gosh, I'm so excited to meet you. Can you remind me again, what were some of the things top of mind that we wanted to touch on? And I kind of work it through that
I like
way. I give them a chance to reintroduce themselves. And I'll always take the fault, listen, it's on me. There's so many people that I'm meeting, so many amazing people. It's really on me. Honestly, my memory's shot. I try to put the other person at ease and then give them a chance to explain and really reintroduce themselves. So that's the first thing. The second thing I do, and this really matters, is the tone that you use. Again, back to almost interviewing 101. It's a tone. So if I'm speaking to someone and I'm trying to get, so this person, my response wasn't like, who are you? Right?
Or even your nonverbals.
Or look at, so now I'm literally, once I caught the name, I had my phone, so I was able to quickly go on to LinkedIn in front of that person and go, wow,
Okay.
you look even better in person. Okay. Now I'm setting the tone for the conversation. And then after that, I'm eliciting information. I'm trying to figure out again how to place this person. We're at a networking event, so how to place this person in terms of the conversation that we'll have and things like that. And then I also try to drop tips. People ask me for free advice all the time, so I'll give a tip. And then this person, I said, it'd be great. You look so much better in person than this photo is not.
Right.
Doesn't reflect your beauty. Like, I really was like working my way through it. So that person, I was like, hey, I'd be willing to let me take a photo of you and you use that on your social media
Right.
platform. I actually found out later that this one individual, they were under the impression that they needed to get those really expensive, high quality photos. And honestly, you really don't need to do that. And so there was a financial limitation that he was facing. And so I was like, hey, let's fix
Yeah.
this right now. I'm going to take a picture of you, you update your profile, bing, bang, boom, and we're done. So there was a way to resolve it, to help that individual. But this is really, this is one of those really sticky areas for all of us. There's folks that have social media profile pictures that, maybe you have one that reflects your wedding and that's 30 years ago, or people who take photos with their favorite pet, that doesn't actually represent you as the person. So this, I think, is
Yeah.
a good one because it really does come down to what you're selling. People want to meet the person who's on that profile. Nobody wants to
Right.
be catfished.
Yeah, and so and I love how you talked about, and I'm listening to you, the amount of effort and time it took for you from out of that event
Yes.
to try to to become more accurate in who you're discussing and talking to. If you had two candidates or two potential stakeholders
Yes.
that came to you, and one of them was pretty accurate, you didn't have to spend all of that time
Yes.
trying to figure out who they were, and the other one was not. Who do you think would be more beneficial, right? You would be more willing to do business with, and why?
Bingo. So I'm going with the person who makes it easier for me to connect. I'm not willing to do the work. And again, if you think
Yeah.
about this from even a recruiting perspective, you have a lot of other people that you got to talk to as well. So
Right.
make it easy for us to connect. Make it easy for us to do business together. Make it easy for us to network and communicate with each other. Don't make it so hard. And it's very, very simple. Just start out with, an updated photo. And honestly, these are the things that when I think about maybe some of the disadvantages that those of us who've been in the workplace for a long time, and people aren't updating their photos because I'll never need that. But quite frankly, you never know when you don't.
Absolutely. What they say, almost 60 to 80% of opportunities are unadvertised and through
That's right.
networking. And yeah, definitely, like, Mario's got a picture of a high top fade. He's got good hair, and y'all see me at the event. Anyway, so and I love how you brought up that make it easy.
Make it
Let
easy.
everyone make it easy. What emotions did you experience? Let's talk about the emotions
Oh,
and how you allow those emotions to
yeah,
process, and
yeah.
then you thought through them.
So the first one actually was honestly it was shock because again, I was presented with one thing and then I saw another thing. So I was I was a little bit like, no, you're about 40 years older than that photo. The other
Wow.
thing is, I was a little disappointed because, there are opportunities now, and it doesn't come around very often where you're placed in a situation, you network, and you can make business happen, right? And for me, this was such a loss of an opportunity because I didn't want to spend 10 to 12 minutes explaining why you needed to be more credible to me.
Yeah.
Right? It
Right.
just it takes away from the conversation. So now in my head, you're not someone I want to do business with because again, if I have to keep coaching you through how you show up and we're not showing up for a client, we're just showing up for each other, then it's not going to work.
Right. Right.
Right?
Right.
You're going to go to the
Right.
person who makes it easier, who's already figured out that a part of your business brand is also how you manage your personal brand and how you show up really matters. Like I said, your brand is in the room long before you get there. But if I have to try to figure out those, is this right? Is this credible? Is this the right person? If I have to go through that script in my head and then adjust so that I can help you adjust, then
Right.
it's just not a good situation. So for me, what it also showed was that that person just didn't care enough about their business brand.
Mm,
Okay. And if you don't
yeah.
care about your business brand, you're not going to care about mine. So what's left on the table, right? Remember at the foundation is credibility and trust.
Yeah, right. Yeah, your personal brand, business brand, your branding, and and I love how you brought that up. And let's, if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about that again, that profile picture on
Yes.
whatever social media site or platform that you're using, and the complexities of things that can occur if it's not an accurate photo and represents you well. How does that impact the brand? And let's get rid of the word good or bad, just
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. It shreds you. It's immediately so when you think about there's a couple of things that you establish when you're a professional brand. And the first thing is reputation.
Mm.
Okay. And reputation is tied to your brand identity. Identity is how you show up. So I'm
Right.
talking like purely how you show up, how you look, the colors you use, the tone you use, all those things. That's identity. And then after you've gotten identity is considered awareness, meaning how much you're messaging out that. So imagine you have a stale photo on LinkedIn, for example, and you're looking to transition into the private sector and you're trying to find a job. So now your identity, that what you're showing up as is an old photo from back in the day when you were married or whatever, right? You're showing
Right.
that. Now your awareness is now you're trying to message out to people to say, hey, I'm in the market. No, by the way, maybe consider hiring me, and you're tagging, liking, following posts. But what you don't get is what we call brand equity. You get no equity out of the brand that you're selling, which is yourself. So that's why imagery is so important. So when you're
Right.
thinking about, that's why, how you show up, the literal identity, people are looking for that to match your awareness, which is the messaging and the things that you're pushing out. And whether it works or not is considered equity, right? And that's where it can either tank or help. So if you're thinking about, what do I need to do to transition into this sector, or maybe you're not looking for a job, maybe you're just trying to build a community, you're building a following, whatever that is for you. If your identity doesn't match up to what you're saying, you lose credibility. It can impact your reputation. You can't. It takes a long time to come back to that. Our minds are so, we react so quickly to images. That's why video is such an amazing form, right?
Right. Right.
But even
Yeah.
short form video, it lasts what, maybe, under a minute, and then we're on to the next stuff. So think about
Right.
it from an image perspective. That's what's sticking in our head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you were saying, if you're smiling, and you're always smiling in all your photos, and I'm
Right.
just using this as an example, and then you meet Shelley Jeffcoat and you
And
have
there's a
no
growl.
personality, not didn't smile once during a networking event, your brand was probably trading on the stock market at about $7.16 at the opening, but then you show up and it's conflicting.
That's right. It's
and,
tank.
and I love how you kind of highlighted that there's some equity,
Yes.
but you got to be authentic, right?
Got to be
You
authentic.
got to
And
be
that's the
authentic.
other thing. I am literally who I am no matter where I go.
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah.
changed my glasses because, for those of y'all who can't see me, I have an addiction with glasses. So I change them all the time. But I'm literally the same personality no matter where I am. I always show up as the same person because otherwise it's exhausting. So when you go on my social media pages, same person. And why is that important? Is because I've established my identity. So now when I'm communicating and sharing things out and you're getting to know me, right? Awareness, I can bank on the equity that I have. I'm trustworthy and I'm credible. People know who I am and what to expect. That's how
Right.
brands, that's the simplicity around brands. But it really does go back to, establishing what that identity looked like. And really simply, you could just start with, y'all have a good photo. Have an updated photo.
And and thank you so much. And so
Yes.
looking back on when you saw that the first time you saw that profile picture, we're just of that person, that
Yes.
professional. And then the in-person experience, and
Yes.
then post that, looking back, what advice, if you could give that person or anyone, what one thing would you tell them?
Get updated before you go to a networking event, period. Right? In the same, it's all preparation. And if you take it seriously, if you're going to a networking event because you intend to do business or potentially meet other business partners, anything like that, right? Make sure that your profile is up to date. That is your online business card.
I
LinkedIn for
like
me is an online resume. And so
mm,
I'll either send people to my LinkedIn or I'll send them to my parade deck page, whichever one, because they're going to catch me either way, right? But that is my identity. That is my representation. But if you want to scale your business, if you want to meet new people, if you want to expand your network, if you want to grow, if you want to get a good job, a better job, or even a promotion, like Mario, some of these are just, even on the job promotion, your internal recruiters are going to come and look at your LinkedIn page. So
right.
at the very least, for your own preservation, make sure that your profile is updated.
Everyone, you guys heard it from Shelley. The first steps in improving your brand, just take a photo and make sure it's you. Don't go spend hundreds of dollars to get it glamorized. And also, if it's been about 12 months, go ahead and take that other one. It takes less than 6 seconds and upload it so your online business card is ready to rock and roll. Shelly, I'm not going to say that you're busy because you are having fun,
Yes.
making a positive impact on people. But I truly appreciate you. And how can people find you if they want more of Shelley Jeffcoat?
You can find me on paradedeck.com under Mrs. Pie. Plain and
You
simple.
you guys heard it. Shelley Jeffcoat, thank you so much. This is exciting. I'm so happy. And I'm gonna make sure that my calendar is marked for me to update my own photo on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this fun episode. Well, everyone, again, Unarmored Talk Podcast. Every 2 weeks, there's an episode. We'll see you guys in 2 more weeks. But until then, you guys know the deal. Be safe out there, and God bless you all and your families. Bye-bye, Shelley.
Bye.